Thank you all so much for speaking with me today, and congratulations on season 2. This is so exciting, and I can't wait to see how everything unfolds, especially after that incredible season 1 finale. Super, super exciting. And so let's just jump right in. My first question is for Taylor. And so I want to know what it was like to return to set to film season 2 after the hiatus and after a quarantine, and what it was like for you to return to playing Rael.
I've done a lot of television, and I've never been so lucky as to do a season 2 and come back and replay a character. So I think I could speak for all of us when we kind of all stumbled back into it going, what is our character? How do we,
Yes.
It was just, I think we were just, in the confusion and the feeling of loss that everyone has been going through the last year. It was hard. I mean, we were so grateful that the audience pushed enough for us to bring us back. I think that was just mind-blowing. The 30% of productions were returning at the time that we came back, so we wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to make a second season without them. And it was because of their support and belief in us that we're here speaking to you today, and it's just magic.
Mm-hmm.
They literally have the power to pull 5, 6, 7+ women from all over the world into one spot. That is your power. So just to understand the gravity of that and the responsibility you took in bringing us back, just a huge thank you. Massive.
We're forever grateful, really.
We love you.
So great. Yeah, it's definitely a crazy time. So definitely getting the chance to come back is definitely super great and very well deserved because the show is so great. And then I'd like to move on to Ashely. So in this next season, I'm sure fans can expect a lot of exciting and new things for Abigail and her evolution as a character. So obviously, without giving anything away in any spoilers, in what ways do you think the audience will see Abigail grow in season 2?
I feel like in season 1, you really see Abigail be that queen bee. She's a person that needed to learn that there's no I in team. No one really was going to get in her way. And this season, you really see her grow because she's very vulnerable. She's very broken down. She's beaten, not beaten literally, but beat down, broken down. It's a dark season. So I'm really excited for her to open up. I feel like having a relationship with Adil has helped that. She's a lot more vulnerable and set in reality. She's trying to discover things about herself, trying to see how she's special and how she can give value to the army. And she's also loving her girls at the same time. So I'm really excited for the fans to see her open up and see her be vulnerable, and then get her fire back, because girl's on a mission for some revenge, baby. And that's all I'm going to say, because I am a spoiler of things.
That's a great answer, though. Absolutely. That's so exciting. Can't wait to see that happen. And then my next question's for Jessica. So in the finale, of course, we all saw Tally in an entirely new way when she became a biddy. So I'm curious what that experience was like for you portraying her in this new way.
So intense. And I got the heads up from Elliot while we were shooting the pilot, that was going to happen. That was going to be how season 1 ended for Tally. And I was really moved because that sacrifice proved that she'd kept her heart, even with all the heartbreak that came with season 1 and her journey in it. But there was also the element of the actual physical transformation. And thanks to the incredible prosthetic team and many, many hours in the makeup chair, we were able to, actually transform me into an old woman. And I think it was the prosthetic for me in general, like claustrophobic. It's a pretty intense process, and one that Lynn Renee, my co-star, she wisely said, just use it, use what it gives you, and just breathe. Like, you kind of go into a meditative place. Music really helps. And just trusting the team behind to rally behind you and make it work. because it felt sometimes like acting through a really thick, I don't even know how to explain it, but you can't, you can feel your own skin underneath this this piece and the resistance it kind of pulls. And it, yeah, you kind of, I'm like, okay, I don't know what it looks like. It feels like I'm just meeting resistance the whole time, and I'm just hoping that, you know, my eyes carry the emotion, because it does. It feels like you're wearing a mask, and you're like, this can't look good. This can't look good. But you know, having now watched it as an audience member, it's amazing. It's amazing what prosthetic teams can do, and yeah, it was one of the most intense processes I've gone through, but a great learning experience. I mean, how many actors get to, at the age of 27, get to transform? I mean, I think I've only heard that really happen in theater. You know, you can play beyond your age. They allow for that, but in film, you very much get cast as you are, looking as you are. So it was also just the juicy challenge of making it kind of a physical performance as well. And kind of taking that age into my body. It was really awesome.
Definitely. I imagine it's very challenging, but you certainly rose to the occasion because your performance was so great. And then I'm going to go back to Taylor here. So you all play such strong, empowering characters that are so interesting and fun to watch. And I'm sure they're just as much fun to play. So I'm wondering what for you is the most fun or most interesting part of bringing Raelle to life?
I think I can speak for everyone with this one. Just like the challenges, the emotional challenges that are thrown at us. They're like, oh, okay, well, you dummied that. You killed it. What else can I throw at you to really? I think that we have a running joke with the writers that it's just like, they see us do one thing.
As superhumans, yeah.
Like, they'll be fine. We'll just put them through every stunt and emotional death and happiness that character can go through. Trauma, yeah. But I think one of my favorite things is just, especially about this season, was trying to create an intimacy while being physically apart. And I think that was, that's falls true with the crew as well. It's just we didn't get to know them the same way as we would have, because we had a fairly new team with us. We had a few familiar faces, but COVID really did some.
But also the masks.
That's what I mean.
Right.
It's you don't get to know people the same way, and you have to physically keep your distance. So it was interesting to see our little community come together I think the intimacy sort of surpassed what it normally would have been, just because of the interesting circumstances. So that was really quite interesting. And then also just the play that we get to have on set. We had the brilliant Amanda Tapping come in, and she really gave that leg room to play. And it's, you don't get that often with networks can be very hands-on and freeform, and Disney, ABC, they really give us the leg room to play with each other. And they don't lock us down to such a tight script or expectations. And that's my favorite thing just about the show in general. I think it's just like, on and off camera, we get to play and try new things. We aren't bound to anything. And it's really quite liberating as an artist, I think, to be able to have say in what you bring to your character and to the world.
Yeah, I bet. That's a great answer. And then Ashely, my next question is for you. So I'm curious what portraying Abigail means to you, and in what ways are you similar to her, or would you say you're more different to her?
Portraying Abigail means everything to me. I think representation is so important. And just like the LGBTQ community feels like they can relate to our show, for me, being a Black woman and being like a kick-ass, badass warrior on screen, and to think that a little Black girl could be looking at me and being like, oh, I can be a warrior too. And just to be a lead on a TV show and I'm a Black woman, it carries so much weight. And I feel like I've opened a door for someone younger than me to come. So that means everything to me. And In relation to me and Abigail, I'd say in season 1, it was like almost spot on. Like we were very similar. I'm not as big of a queen bee as she is, but that was my girl. That was my road dog. But in season 2, I feel like, you know, she's going through the ringer like most of us are during this time because of the pandemic. So it was kind of life imitating art, because she was kind of felt like she was at ground zero and I felt like I was at ground zero. So it was really cool to kind of play that. In the moment you're like, I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta open this wound up. But I mean, it worked. And so I feel like there's similarities in both. Yeah.
Definitely, absolutely. And everything you said is so true. Definitely just so amazing. And then my next question is for Jessica. And so your characters are all obviously close on camera, but then your connection and chemistry seems to definitely be there off camera as well. And I was wondering what it's like to work with basically like your friends and be part of such a fun cast that seems to be a family just as much off screen as it is on screen.
You said it. It's like working with your family. It should be illegal, right? I don't know. To have that much fun. And you know, one thing that I learned earlier on in terms of like professional etiquette of how actors should, you know, conduct themselves when they go to work, was very much like, you know, we all have to bring our best, do our best, and it's collaboration. That's the name of the game. But there's no, you have to like each other and get on. I mean, that you're putting a group of strangers together most of the time, you know, it's kind of like hit or miss, like, okay. But with this show, I mean, seconds into meeting these two, just these two,
chaos.
It was just instant, like, I think I love you. You know, those kind of moments, if you ever had with a stranger, it's like you're talking and it's just been seconds. And you're like, I think I like love you.
You really said that.
Love at first sight, baby.
So, you know, it felt at that point, I mean, work doesn't become work, right? You're working towards a collaboration, creating this bigger part of which you're just playing a piece. But every day getting to laugh and have fun and get to know these strangers as beautiful people of substance and such talent. So like on screen, you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to you because I don't need to do, I'm just mesmerized. As most of my time on screen, it's just like, oh yes. What is my line? So yeah, they make for me, it's like I go to work and I get made better. It's like a masterclass in acting. And then off screen, I get to have lunch with a friend or a family member. It's like, okay, where's the camera? Who's gonna, you know what, this should be illegal. How much
Am I being punked?
Right. But then you start to realize, please, for me now, having gone through season 2, I just can't really imagine not going for a season 3. Like my life, you know, you get into kind of a habitual pattern with TV shooting anyway, you know, 6 months, 7 months of your life taken, you go on hiatus and then come back. And I just have formed such attachment. And I know that's a dangerous place to be for an artist because our very nature of our work is temporary and ever shifting and changing. And you never say goodbye. You say, you know, I'll see you down the road in the casting room or on set another time. We're taught those things, but I've got like a lot of attachment in the show and in these people, and I don't want to stop doing it. So that's how it feels, Ashely.
I bet. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna cry.
I mean, that definitely comes across in the show. You can definitely see that sisterhood and that bond. And it has been just an absolute pleasure to speak with all of you today. A huge congratulations on season 2. I'm so excited for everyone to see it. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Ashely.
you.